It's just back from the Dundalk Derry game where it ended 2-all. Dundalk take the lead in the first half through Stephen Bradley. Lovely little finisher, was actually played fantastic all game, but that was specifically a very good bit of movement from him. Stepping in from the right and onto his left foot and curling into the far corner. Excellent goal. And I think it was the first time ever Stephen Bradley has been sung in joy in Oriel Park by the Dundalk fans, which was quite an experience. But cancelled out then by Derry, a good wee breakaway, and I think Andy Boyle should have done better. Probably could have pulled his man back, fouled him, give away a free kick, took the yellow card. But Derry went out and scored. And that was kind of all, like, there was a lot happening in the first half. Both teams, I think, had a good bit of possession. I think Dundalk did have a bit better chances until they scored. When they scored, Derry stepped up a bit. But before that, it was all pretty much Dundalk, I feel. But we just couldn't, the team hasn't gelled just yet. Still, wee bits and pieces, but that can only be expected, and it is only the first game of the season. But then, in the second half, it continued on again. Dundalk, I think, supplying most of the pressure. The fans really lifted them in the second half especially, and we got a very good goal. Well, not a very good goal, to be honest. It was a corner whipped in by Benson and it wasn't dealt with, and was just bundled over the line by Mark Connolly. So yeah, not really a great goal, but it's a goal, so it counts. And sent the fans absolutely wild. But then we couldn't hold on to the lead, and a few minutes later Derry did equalise again. Same type of thing again. They broke away from Dundalk and hit us on the counter-attack and got a good goal. But all in all, I think Dundalk can be happy with a point going into it. I wasn't expecting a point even. I was expecting Derry to beat us. But yeah, it was nice to get the point. I would have taken it going into the game. But during the game, I think Dundalk probably should have had enough to win the game. But in saying that, now Derry did have a great chance later on to win the game when they ran the crossbar. But other than that, I don't feel Derry really pressured Dundalk too much. I think it was mainly Dundalk doing the questioning of Derry, apart from one or two chances. Again, Dundalk's goalkeeper Shepherd, he didn't do much, did he, today? Kind of could have done better, didn't dig Dundalk out, but early doors, yeah, we're not called for his head just yet. But yeah, that's it. Next up is we're away to Bows next Friday night, so hopefully Dundalk can push on and get 3 points in that game. Thanks.
Right, folks, so just got in from what was a bitterly cold Oriel Park this evening, where Dundalk and Derry City served up what was somewhat an entertaining game for the conditions both teams had to endure for 90 minutes. First half was a bit scrappy, but Dundalk edged it, I think, on their play. Did some nice play, build-up play. It's culminated in a few chances. Brian Maher had to make a couple of saves. There was one from long range which he had to tip over. Dundalk took the lead through Stephen Bradley. He found space on the right hand side and cut inside on the left and curled it in the bottom corner. Derry responded just before half time. First time really that Jamie McGonigal had received the ball in defeat. He just brilliantly got away from Andy Boyle and left him in his wake. He raced clear, and there was 3 Dundalk players trying to chase after him, and not one of them could keep up. He drove into the box, pulled it across, and Joe Thompson was in the middle. They stabbed home an equaliser. Second half, Derry came out the better, had a few half chances, but really didn't create anything of note. Dundalk started to grow in the game again as the wind started to pick up and change, and you had the snow and everything they contend with. Robbie Benson had a great chance to give Dundalk a lead, but a brilliant last ditch tackle from Kieran Harkin prevented him from getting his strike away. Dundalk did take the lead with just over 15 minutes left. An in-swinging corner from Robbie Benson was forced home on the 6-yard box by Mark Connolly, another debutant scoring for Dundalk tonight. Derry responded brilliantly. James Akintunde, who came on as a substitute alongside Patrick McElhinney, left Sam Bone for dead on the left-hand side. He raced clear down the left flank, got the edge of box, skipped past Greg Sloggett, pulled the ball back, and there was Jamie McGonigal in the 6-yard box to head home an equaliser. With 5 minutes left in the clock, McGonigal had a glorious chance to double his tally for the night and give Derry City the lead for the first time. Unfortunately for him, after a great touch, after a fantastic through ball, he raced clear and hit the crossbar. Just after Derry had equalised, and in between the McGonigal chance, Derry had a penalty, shout waved away. Great play in the edge of the box with Patrick McGlynn as he laid it into McGonigal, who seemed to be upended by Dundalk defenders, but Rob Harvey waved away Derry's appeals. But look, a draw on the opening night is not a bad result. So I think both teams will be happy, because both teams could have lost it as well. So I think in the end both will be happy to get off the mark on the first night of the season. For us, big huge test next week now against Shamrock Rovers in the Brandywell. A packed out Brandywell, hopefully live on RTE, and let's hope we can put on a show. Thanks guys.
Hey guys, game over at the Carlisle grounds. Finished disappointing for Bray Wanderers. Massive disappointment. It was Bray Wanderers 0, Cork City 6. 1-0 at half time. First half was pretty even. Cork went in 1-0 ahead with a goal from Dylan McGlade, ex-Bray of course. The game was delayed throughout the half. A few flares here and there from either side, and the ref, what happened was he went over to the dugouts to tell them exactly what was going on, and yeah, flares still came onto the pitch, smoke bombs still came onto the pitch. At half time there's a bit of a melee that happened towards the Bray end of the ground. Rumour has it that Bray Wanderers fans stole one of the banners that the Cork City fans had, and the Cork City fans went back over to get it back and caused major issues. The game was delayed by 20 minutes at the break to sort it out. A couple of guards came into the ground to sort it out, but it's not something you'd like to see, particularly with families here on the first night of the season. Second half was all Cork City, and they deservedly, second half certainly, they deservedly won the game by 6-0. Barry Coffey got 2 goals, Dylan McGlade got another 2 goals to make it a hat-trick, and was finished off then the 6th goal scored by Rory Keating. Bray must lick their wounds. They go to Waterford next week, and Waterford had to win 5-2 tonight against Athlone Town, and it doesn't get any easier. Cork going to the next, I'm not sure how they're playing, but Cork City absolutely deserving winners tonight by 6-0.
Hi Keith, just doing a video for a game there versus Bray Wanderers. There where to go. Nice to get a win. Like I said the other day, the most important thing for City was to pick up 3 points if possible. Like a point up in Bray I thought would have been a good result, but to get 3 points was very important. First half thought we probably just a bit better than Bray. Thought going in at 1-0 I think was fair enough. But I think no matter what team like you're playing with or against, like 4 goals there in 6 minutes in the second half, it doesn't matter who you are. There's no team going to come back from that, no matter how good you are. So it was a bit of an unfortunate situation with Brace. Obviously it was great for Cork City. Like I was saying there, going back to our review last week, like straight away looking at the team, like I was looking at the back 4 there tonight, and like you had O'Connor, Gilchrist, Coleman and Hakkinen and Harrington in goal, and there was one of the first things when I saw the lineup tonight, I said, like, the good thing about us tonight, we're not going to make a lot of mistakes, all going well. This was me, I was saying before the game, because I thought we were a lot more tuned in terms of, like I said about Kevin O'Connor last week, the difference with him and Ronan Hurley, like you can't really compare him, and as I said, there's no disrespect to Ronan Hurley, but Kevin O'Connor is much more experienced and just is better on the ball, better use of the ball, gives the right pass at the right time. In fairness to Dylan McGlade, the fella who I constantly was bitching and moaning about last year, he was excellent tonight, to be fair to him, and couple of great finishes. The lob was class, but he has that in him. You see, that's the thing with him. He has the ability to do these things. I suppose there's not really much more I can say. The only thing on the downside of, and it's probably happened with a lot of clubs tonight, I see there online, is this carry on with these flares that they're thrown onto the pitches. You know, do fellas have any brain in their head? Like, you know, it affects every club. Like, the fans, and they're throwing these flares onto the pitches, and like, do they not realise that the club can get fined for it? And especially with League of Ireland level, it's different in England when they're getting fined like 100,000 or whatever, and it's nothing to them. But like League of Ireland clubs, their budgets are very small, and it's grand for these dopes to be going around throwing flares, and then they can go home and forget about it. But City have to pick up the flack from this, and like, I don't see what they get out of it. You know, there's just, you know, is there anything going on upstairs in their head? Like, you know, there's no thinking at all there. I don't know, are they taking drugs, or are they smoking, or taking pot or something, or are they just not tuned in at all, or are they just normal people that just don't have any cop on in their head? But like, it's no good for the club. It serves no purpose whatsoever, and to be honest with you, you know, if City knew who they were and they banned them from coming into the games, it wouldn't bother me in the slightest. You know, you're there, you go up to a match to support your team, you know, and that's about soccer. And fair enough, like, I know abuse happens and stuff, and give and take with, you know, home and away with supporters, and that's part and parcel of it. But throwing flares onto the pitch serves no purpose whatsoever. So that's the downside of it. Like, that's what kind of disappoints me then when it comes to the club. Like, you know, you've Colin and the lads trying to do well, and, you know, doing their utmost to try and get promoted, and then you've these fools, you know, just acting the idiot. So it's very disappointing. But look, as I said, look, the most important thing about tonight was get the 3 points and get going again, and that's it. And look, on to Galway next week. All right, thanks, Keith. Cheers.
Hi guys, Jamie here. I'm just hopping on quickly to give a match reaction to the game between Pats and Shells today. So obviously I'm a very happy man, over the moon. But first of all, before I get into the game, it was brilliant. Everything around this day was amazing. RT had a really good promo during the week, and the cameras were obviously down there. We got lucky, it didn't rain. The pitch was in relatively good order despite all the rain, so a great occasion. Obviously Talca being sold out, you know, for the first time, I think I heard since 2006, which, I don't know, that could be wrong, but if so, that's outstanding. Obviously I was in the Pats end, it was rocking. I could hear the Shells fans very, very loud as well. So yeah, all round brilliant. Anyway, the game started, and to be honest with you, Shells were on top for the first 15 or so minutes. They had a goal disallowed. It looked to be offside, to be honest, and that's what Michelle Neal gave. Then, about 18 minutes into the game, big old Dara Burns cuts in on the right, leaves his man for dust, and curls it into the top left. Oh, lads, if you haven't seen that goal, watch it. What a finish. But to be honest with you, Shells weren't too bad in the first half. Connor Kane down the left-hand side of Shells was very, very good. But second half, Pats grew into the game even more. We started to dominate, to be honest. Shells, they only were getting chances through set pieces, which, to be honest, Pats looked a bit dodgy defending, but yeah, I'm sure all the Shells fans would be annoyed that they couldn't capitalise. Pats obviously went on to get 2 more goals through Mark Doyle and Jason McKelland, but Chris Forrester on the show. Oh, what a player. We saw last year he was really enjoying his football, and it looked like he was doing the same today. Everyone knows when Chris Forrester's playing at his best, he's unplayable, and he was like that tonight. As for Shelbourne though, I know this is the Pats reaction mainly, but I wouldn't be too worried if I'm a Shells fan. You know, Pats are a good side. Shells are a hard working team. They sat back a bit more than I thought they would, to be honest, for all this attacking football talk that Duff was given. But overall, a very good occasion. I won't even lie, I'm over the moon. One of the best games I've ever been at it for an opening day, you know. I'm not used to Pats winning on opening days. I remember, you know, we had a ropey one 2 years ago and we actually lost to Waterford, so it's good to be able to win. And I think there was a few question marks over all the new players that we brought in, so to put them to bed over last week in the President's Cup and now this week, it's a good feeling. And next game now, we play Sligo at home I'm looking forward to seeing Sligo against Bows tomorrow. But yeah, onwards and upwards. Come on, the Saints.
Full time, and it's Blues 5, Athlone 2. Really great result to start the season with. I suppose that's the first thing to say. It was disappointing, I think, to concede the 2 goals, especially in the manner that we did. I thought they were very soft. But other than that, look, you know, it's hard to be too disappointed with a 5-2 win. We were very convincing going forward. Probably could have scored a few more, barring some very fantastic results. Elsewhere in the division, we'd be top of the league. Yassine Nene, I thought, played very well in his debut, and Roland Dodowo did as well. Louis Britton got a great goal. Keane Kavanagh, Phoenix and Junior, they all played very well, as they usually do, and Anthony Wordsworth really took control of the game. So good performances all around. I suppose I wish we could be a little bit more defensively secure, and that's really the only thing I'd have any complaints about.